What's up, everyone? For everyone tuning in, we're about to do another live interview from my Creative Movers podcast, where we interview dancers from all over the world, all the creatives, all the cool stuff, and we get them here and we talk about who they are and how they got into this dance, what their mindset is, what does creativity mean to them. So today we're going to be speaking with Billy from the Wonder Twins, which is I'm excited because this is actually my first time speaking with Billy from the Wonder Twins, and we're gonna get to hear his story and where they began, how they got into this dance, and if you have any questions for anyone watching, feel free to write it in the comments. So if anybody has a question you want me to ask, or for the Wonder Twins, feel free. So this is the time to get answers and ask questions. So this will be like a conversation. We'll go through just certain questions and such, but it'll be more of a conversation free flow. So let's see. Let's get Billy. I know he's on the East Coast, so it's a little later over there. Hey,
Hey,
Billy. How you doing, sir? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
Wait, my brother. Let me move this back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Good. I just came from work, but it's been a pretty calm day, I would say, out here in Long Beach. That's where I currently live, so
Okay.
Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
But things have been well. Things are well. Have you ever been to California? Have you been out here?
I've been out there once. Into the sound a little bit. Once back in the day. Actually, no, wait, twice. We was out there. Um, when we did a tour with Colonia.
Okay. Okay.
Then we went out there for. What were we out there for? Oh, America's Got Talent. Yeah,
Got
we
you.
that slop.
America's Got Talent. I'm sure yeah, everyone has stories when it comes to
Yeah,
these TV shows and everything, so.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. So just twice.
Okay.
Not nearly.
Okay. Got you, got you. No, well, again, I want to just again thank you for finding time and to be here and share your story, and I appreciate that. I also know it's like much like 10 o'clock over there, so that
This is when we do work. This is evenings are our best times, to be honest.
okay.
So I don't much. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Well, I'm glad it's working out. I'm working out. But man, at first I would like to tell people here again, if you're tuning in and you have a question you want to ask it, we got Bobby and Billy, the Wonder Twins. They're both now here. We're both in. We're both in. But for anyone watching again, if you have questions you want to ask, this is the opportunity to do so. I want to first introduce of how I heard of you guys. How did I find out about you guys? I was watching a World of Dance clip,
Yep.
and it was the one performance I posted where it says it is so interesting me watching that clip now because I saw that years ago when you
Yeah.
when you did that piece. But the one where it says if you're not yourself, who are you?
Yeah.
And I watched that now many years since then, and I was like, wow, like it still hits. There's certain things that are just like timeless
Yeah.
that you could feel that moment. It doesn't matter if it's 20 years, 10 years, it's timeless. So I remember seeing that piece, and then I think on the What's Popping page, you would post here and there clips of like practicing and
Yeah.
animation. And it was crazy because again, like you guys are different. Like your approach to the movement was different. It was strong. It was controlled, very technical, and again, it's a group. You perform. You know how to showmanship and perform to the crowd. So I just had to hear your stories and
Yeah.
where you guys come from, and but how would you like to Boston?
Right here. Boston strong. We're from Boston. Um, Even with that, when we first decided to do World of Dance, we was away from that scene, like the popping scene, for like a decade or more. Like we didn't even know people were really popping anymore. Like
We
we
were
just
still dancing.
yeah, we was performing, but we weren't like in that world of dance type of, because
Right.
like competitive. We wasn't part of that. So that was like our first show in a long time. I mean, we're still dancing, but it was our first show. So we had to decide, like, kind of at the last minute, what direction did we want to go with that brief performance. Like, we knew it wasn't going to be a long show. Um, and we just had to decide what direction we wanted to go into. And we just decided to go in a different direction that day.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a day decision.
Yeah,
But
that
kind
was,
of last minute. I think we
yeah,
had two recordings we was going to do. We just
yeah,
said, you know what, do this one because nobody's going to dance. Nobody's going to do it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. How did you like? I want to start from the beginning so I don't jump around. But how did you get into dance? What was? How did this? You get into this whole movement? When did it begin?
It began in to be honest, it began in the 70s, like when we were babies, basically.
Wow.
But we didn't start, you know, in Boston, there was a group called Body Construction
Mm.
that was Boston. It was the first professional street. We ended up joining that group in 1979, 80.
Mm.
But they found almost 10 years before we even joined.
Mm.
See us as the originals of that group, called the Funk Effects, when we got in. But they were around before us, and we would see a member of that group in elementary school when we were in the third grade, and we saw this member of that group dance at a talent show that we had in elementary school when we were in the third grade. And you know, he was popping and he was moonwalking and just dancing, and we got so interested, like we was almost like starstruck. Um,
Mm.
and he was the creative director behind Marky Mark and Bunch. He's the one that did all that. He was
God.
so on him, and then we started sneaking up to this place called the Lee School, where our big brothers and sisters would play basketball, and we would sneak into the auditorium area, to watch him, not knowing that he was part of a bigger group they were like maybe 12 kids between, what is fifth grade, 11?
Mm-hmm.
11 and 15 years old. And they were like
Unbelievable.
I can't even describe what they were like. It was it's the first, like you see in the lockers on Soul Train for the first time.
Yeah.
It was that. And it was locking. It wasn't locking and popping. Breaking wasn't even around then. And we just got like enamored by that group and this one guy named Andy Thomas. And he started working with get us ready to join the really audition for that group.
Mm.
That's how it all started. And then we finally got in the group after we did a talent show called the Kite Festival in Boston. Big talent show, and everyone's in it, but everyone's in it. And Wendy Williams is the host before the Wendy Williams show. She was a DJ at Northeastern. She was a student at Northeastern, and so she was the host of the contest. And we did the contest, and we got in the group like that very next day. And it kind of went. And we were just doing, we were doing so many shows, man. It was like a show a month, big shows, incredible outfits, kids from everywhere. It was just like magical. This is like in the 80s. This is early 80s. This is like 1980 and 80 all the way throughout like 80s. And the history started from kids, and then we went on to do other stuff after that.
When did you become the Wonder Twins? Because you were part of a group at that time.
Yeah, we was part of the Funk Effects, first dance group, professional street dance group in Boston. We became the Wonder Twins after high school because people don't know that Wonder Twins is a cartoon.
Yes, it's yeah.
I think we made it up. I'm like, no, it's a cartoon.
Right.
we was like fascinated by the cartoon because every time they say the Wonder Twins,
We thought of ourselves.
yeah, we just said we got to use that one day, but we couldn't use it in the Funk Effects. We only could use it on our own. And after high school, we had to decide whether we wanted to play basketball or dance, because we a basketball art family. We have art everywhere. There's grab a piece, Bobby.
Oh
We
yeah,
have,
yeah. Show us that, please.
we have
What can I bring?
what can you bring this? That's
That makes
dope.
sense here.
That makes sense for the interview. Maybe the b-boy. The b-boy.
Oh,
one.
the B-boy.
Yeah. So we had to decide whether we want to do art, not art, but dance or basketball.
Okay.
Paul from this is one of the pieces Bobby just did. Did this for
You see it?
hip hop fit kinda. You might want to go. You can go in the back. You can
Wow. Okay.
knock stuff down.
Wow. How did? What is this material? What is the
It's everything.
tell me what?
Glitter,
It's
rocks,
glitter,
it's all kind of stuff.
rocks, fabric. Not fabric. It's kind of some. Oh, it's just crazy.
Wow. Look at the colors and the details of.
Yeah.
And this piece, what was this inspired this piece?
Just our history. We call it that. We just call it. We did it for Hip Hop 50.
Okay.
Got like 60 paintings in there. So we come from an artistic family of painters and basketball players. And we grew up like that. My mother was a dancer from Raymond, Alabama, so she was a jazz modern dancer. My dad, before he passed, when we were younger, before we lost him, he was an athlete and did some modeling. So we come from an artistic family. So being in art and dance is just normal. It's just normal for us. So we had to decide whether we want to dance or play basketball. And we're real good at basketball.
That's the only thing we brag about.
Yeah, we will. We nice at ball. We nice at ball.
See, anyone in the comments, if you want to play basketball, call them out now.
We don't play with that. See, with dance, like we always tell people this, because with basketball, you're nice or you're not. There's no in between. Like you suck or you're nice. Like if we say that we're great at basketball, you can't argue it. If we're good.
Right.
But if we say dance, someone can say, "Nah, I don't like the way you dance." But you're not great as you. So we don't really get into that great stuff and that we think are great at dance. To us, are levels above us. To us, that don't mean that's how other people see them, but that's how we see them. So that's all that matters. So art is always subjective, and you can always say, I don't really like the way that person did. They're not moving me. And most things with us, if you're not moving us emotionally in some way, we can say that you're good, but it doesn't change our life. You know, you see someone dance, you be like, you know what? And even if no one's going crazy, it changes their life. That's the way we look at dance. So even with basketball, trying to choose basketball or dance, we thought, what could make us change someone's life? It came, and then we got a call from Bobby Brown, and then we went on the food tour, and that changed our entire But before that, we was doing shows in Boston with a group called the TDS Mob, who are pioneers in Boston of rap, dope as anything. So we was doing shows with them and opening up a lot of things. But we were opening up for Run DMC and all these different people when we were like 10 years old. So it was like kind of, what's the word? Normal.
It's like you grew up. You were born growing. It wasn't like you were outside coming into it. You already were in it already.
It was already there.
So it was like we would do shows with Run. We did some shows with Run DMC and all these different people, and we go to school the next day with the people that were front row at the show. Like this was like thing, and Boston was like that. So Boston's small, so when you did things like that, everyone, they knew what you were doing, and we were, our community we come from Dorchester, so it's a rough community, but our community affected us. Like they wanted to go to the shows too. So dance, like It wasn't even just about getting a bunch of like oohs and ahs. It was just even when we were younger, it was about us trying to change people's lives to what we did. You know. Yeah.
Wow. And so and you were saying you were deciding between dance and basketball, and that was when you pushed more with
Yeah.
dance.
And then we did we did the Apollo. We won the Apollos uh, 6 times, and we ended up being on the Apollos. I think 16. I always get it wrong, but I think it's like 14, between 14 and 16 times.
Yeah.
Um, on the Apollo, we did a whole week with Maurice Hines.
Okay.
Broadway thing with Maurice Hines, and then we did some other stuff at the Apollo. So it's kind of we went full circle with dance.
Wow.
You know, out stuff with dance, and there's no ceiling with art, in my opinion. Like you have to. Some people can do things that's major, but that's not the thing that makes them want to keep on doing it. It's the things that they do smaller and more intimate. And we're really, really into like intimate performance where you can see
Close up.
Yeah, you can
Real.
see and feel. You know what I mean? That's we did Wembley
Arena.
like for a week. So I mean, to us, that's easy. And I'm not saying it's easy to get them. Like it wasn't the Wonder Twins live at Wembley. I don't mean it like that. But we performed at these giant places, like the Giant Stadium, all these other places, and it's much easier in a big place than in a small place. Like you do a show in front of 10 people. Just do a show in front of 10 people with what you love to do, whether it's jazz, ballet, tap, whatever it is, street dance, popping, and animation. You got to be able to touch those 10 people. Be about the all that stuff. That's good.
That's easy, though.
But that doesn't mean anything because you can put on a song that everyone likes and you can get the It's not that. It's like like what Bobby said. It's like it's like a chef. Like when the chef prepares the meal and the chef is behind the curtain after he put in all this work. He or she put in all this work and did all this stuff and then gave the meal to the person and stood behind the curtain like this. And they don't wait for the person eating it to go, oh my God, this is good. That's not it. It's after they eat it and they go, and they rub their stomach. That's the goal that we try. Like we're not trying to hit you with a bunch of I can't whole time. We want to be able to sit back after it and say, damn,
wow,
that was deep, or that was dope, or whatever the thing is. So it's not always
because our show is 2 hours.
Yeah, we do it
2 hours.
Yeah, we do a 2 hour show. Yeah, just us.
The intermission is, I can't even call it intermission because we're changing. So we're not like we're sitting down.
Right.
Probably 10 minutes. So our show is we almost do a 2 hour show basically.
Yeah.
We change on stage 16 times in our show.
Wow.
And the goal is to make sure that we have a show that's 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, 10 years old. Someone 10 years old can see it, but someone 40 years old can see it, and someone 70 years old can see it. So we have to study what would make a 70-year-old couple or whatever individual want to go see a animation, sneaker rhythm, lock and show. So we have to study what they like, what intrigues them.
It's basically what our mother, what our family loved.
Yeah.
So listening to all that, even though we're hip hop and doing all the popping and animation, we grew up listening to pop songs too. So all that's in our show. All that's in our show. So we're not just, if we're animating the show, it's not traditional pop music.
Right.
Animation to really tell a story. So it's not a bunch of moves. Real animation, which has nothing to do with it don't always have to be a bunch of moves. It's telling a story. Yeah. It could be song choice that you use. And if you're animated and they're close up, it's going to look
Change it.
completely different than what it looks on video. Because I don't watch our videos.
You
Yes,
don't watch.
it's
Okay.
difficult.
It's
We're
difficult to watch.
looking to critique it too much,
Mm.
and that's not always healthy. So we'll share it,
Mhm.
but we don't watch it. Like,
Right.
we just share it. We'll just critique it so much. It'll just be like,
It's more what it feels
Yeah.
like when we're doing it live and
Yeah.
what people, how they react to it after the show. Because it's hard to react to it right there. Because you don't want to just, oh my God, look at that. It's after the show, what they say to us after the show that really say, okay, they got what we was doing.
Where does this mindset that was this something you developed through time and experience of this mindset of creating things like you were saying about the chef? You want to present something that people can take in, and after time they feel something. Where did this mindset come from that you have when you're giving a performance or?
it comes from. I feel like it comes from the people that we watch and study.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of tap dancers, like a lot of tap dancers.
Yeah.
A lot of we have restaurant has the Condos brothers on it, the Nicholas brothers on it,
Berry Brothers.
the Berry brothers on it, Hines brothers, and has the McLean, which is us. But we have us at the bottom. We don't
Oh, wow.
saying that we're them. We're saying that we watch all of them.
Wow.
Like all of them. So when we watch their tapes, like it's almost like homework. We can watch the same thing over and over again and see something completely different. Like when we watch Michael Jackson and we just watch him, the little stuff that he does, and everybody only talks about the moonwalk. And I'm just like, there's so much little stuff that he's doing. We watch it. We watch comedians a lot. Like we watch the timing of the comedian. How the comedian takes their time at a simple joke and they take their time. There's a space before they say the joke, and there's a space when they leave the joke. And then people respond to the space. They don't always respond to the joke. It's the space. And that's like when we see people do animation, and Bobby said it's not a move, it's a movement. If you can animate, you can do nothing to a song and just walk. And by the time you get to that end of that song, it's like, oh shit. Do that. Like, how did he didn't do much, but how did he do that though? Like, how did he make us feel that? Bobby said earlier, it's song choice and it's making sure that whatever you're doing as far as your movement is that you feel the movement. We don't practice with mirrors.
Okay.
We don't practice with mirrors, so anything that we do as far as like if it's animation, we have to feel it. Like we don't just look in the mirror and be like, oh, that looks animated. No, we have to feel it. We have to feel the movement. And then I'm like, I feel like I'm animated. So the person watching is gonna feel it. So there's all this studying and we watch cartoons, we watch these little expressions from cartoon, we put it in our show. And we just extend what an animated performance looks like. And it doesn't always have to be popping. Because animation can be just, it can be a dance or a movement. It doesn't have to be always hitting and popping. It can be something much, much different.
Yeah, your comment about not looking at a mirror and basing off of the movement through your feeling of what you're feeling, that it's very interesting. And I feel like it answers my question of like, how do I say it? Some people study, right, other dancers, and they try to copy what the other dancer does. They look in the mirror and they want to get technical. They want to make sure everything is a certain way. And by doing that, I believe that they end up looking like the people they're watching, or they look like. But for you, it's different. Like the textures come off differently because you're not trying to analyze yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect.
Like your animation, yes.
If you watch someone damn it, sometimes it's so difficult to explain what I mean. Like when I see a Michael Jackson impersonator, it's not the kick and the moonwalk that makes me say he's that's a good Michael Jackson impersonator. It's what he does when he's not doing the move that makes me say that's a good Michael Jackson impersonator. Like Pop World, you can't, like, there's only one Poppin' Pete.
Right.
We don't need another one.
Right.
There's only one Boppin' Andre. We don't need another one. There's one Flat Top. There's one Buddha. There's one Link. There's all these people. There's one Megatron. There's one Shallow. There's all these different people. You don't need another one. But what you can do, you can be inspired by them and add to what they do that's different. Do you know what I mean? Like when I watched Savion Glover, although he was taught by the Hines brothers, I see a little bit of Gregory Hines, but I see Savion Glover. But that's where he got his thing from. I don't see them. I see a completely different person. And even though, you see Kobe Bryant, of course he was Michael Jordan. But when I see Kobe Bryant, I separate him from Michael Jordan because there's something that he has that's from him that he couldn't get from Michael Jordan. So you know what I mean? Your expression is gonna come out no matter what. But so I think when sometimes people watch poppers, they're so busy trying to look exactly like them that they don't like find them like they can't. Like the best teacher, and Bobby had me started watching this, is ballet teachers. To me, like ballet masters, when they teach their students, some of the ones who retired,
the old ones.
Yeah, the old ones. When they teach their dancers how to dance, but they can't do the dance anymore, they can't kick their legs high. But when they explain it, it's way better. It's better than the dancer that can actually do it.
Interesting.
Watch it. Watch the ballet masters, and you'll be like, I see what they're talking about. When they explain it, when they watch the dancer dancing, and like, yeah, you're doing it, but you don't feel it. So it's like the motion that goes before the leg goes up. They miss all of that, and they become so technical that they only care about the foot and the arch of the foot. And I'm like, yeah, there's a whole thing that you missed. You missed all of this stuff just to get to the technical part. And I think with popping, they hit that. They'll do something incredible, like they make people go, oh, and then when they stop the oh, the dance part is empty. So it's just like a setup on a move. I'm about to do this move right here, and they're gonna go crazy. Okay, and I'm gonna set up another move. They're gonna go crazy, and then there's a pause.
Right, like boom, 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 boom. Right.
The pause is where the dance happens. Like when Michael Jordan would, when Michael Jordan's in a dunk contest, and he does one of his dunks. The dunks are incredible, but the lead up to the dunk is the show. Like that's the dunk is just a release. The lead up, when he looks at the people on the side and he winks at them.
Wow, already.
That's the show. For us, that's how we look at it. Now, I don't know if anybody, nobody's looking at it, but that's how we look at it. We look at it, we look at the build up. The build up.
I've already, from us talking, my mind's already like highlighting this thing where it's like not just looking at the single point, but the entire flow. Before someone even steps down, there's already something going on. There's already like you're saying with Michael Jordan, before he even gets to that point, there's already all this happening. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So when we look at poppers, we look at poppers kind of the same way. Like when when we see our boy Flat Top, before he does his thing, the way he sets up his moves, sets up his rhythm, is really, really funky. Like it's just a funky thing that he does. So we look at dances of the setup of it, so you don't get so much into what they're actually doing to try to do what they're doing, but you're looking at what inspires them to go into what they're doing a little bit. Yeah.
Wow, that's such a great lens or a different perspective to have for people to be able to watch a video and you can look at it both ways. The typical way where people will see it and be like, "Oh, there was the big move," and then you can watch it again and be like, "What was happening going before the move? What was everything?" Analyzing that.
You remember like when the Nicholas brothers did that move and they go up the stairs,
Yes.
slide down the stairs, and everyone talks about, oh my God, they slid down the stairs.
Or the split.
Or the splits when they jump on each other in the split.
Yes.
Split. And the split. Although that's just ridiculously incredible. It's ridiculously incredible. But the way they went up the stairs with the ba-bam. Like it was looking at each other, the way they did that, we went crazy.
We went crazy way before that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
we was going crazy over everything.
just
like
the style.
Yeah, the style of,
God.
the style of certain dancers, the ones from the past, and even some now. Like we still look at, like we get inspired by a lot of dancers, no matter what. Even if we don't know them, we still get inspired by dancers, but still competitive in a healthy way. We're not competitive in as we got to be better than, but we're competitive in a healthy way where we're like, damn, we got to do something. We got to do something even doper. That's dope. So it's not in a competitive way because we've never thought like that. We don't do contests really. We tried the America's Got Talent thing and that was a nightmare. That was a weird type of thing. The Apollo was for us to say that we was at the Apollo more than anything. But even with that, and everyone's like, yeah, y'all killed it. Y'all did that 6 times. You was on it 16 times. Yeah, that's dope. Until you on stage with the person that did it 127 times. That's why we stay humble. The Hines brothers did it 127 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we can't.
We bragging about
We ain't bragging about that. We
6
can
times or
16
6
times. They go like this. Get that. So we stay humble. You got to stay humble. I think dancers who don't stay humble, their ceiling is so small. They feed into each other so much that as an audience member, as a person watching, you just start looking and be like, you know what? Your spirit is killing me. I don't like it no more. It's just, so we try to make sure that we stay as humble as possible and not dive so much into our ego, unless
say that last part.
that's just basketball. If it's basketball,
It's basketball.
not dance.
How do you know? Okay, how do I say this? Knowing you've done so many performances, knowing that people are like, you're crazy, you're dope at what you do. How do you keep the humbleness, or what is the mindset? Like, how do you respond to someone that's like, oh my God, you guys are amazing? Like, how do you respond to that? Because I feel like that's like a question I think of when people may compliment you. And I feel like everyone can think about a time when they're complimented. Like, how do you go about that? How do you personally go about compliments or when people are,
I don't know, because it's strange.
Right.
Because
Like,
if somebody gives us a compliment, something's wrong with me anyway. I'm always giving a compliment back. I would like take it in like that, or we just didn't have that in us because we've been doing it so long. We just don't have that in us. Like, we don't even understand people that are arrogant. Oh, you're arrogant? For real? Why are you arrogant? Like, why are you arrogant? I don't understand that. We don't really understand that. Like, we get that a lot. They ask, like, all these compliments. Like, listen,
we don't let it settle.
We don't let it settle. We get rid of it quick. Even after performance, we're out. When we do our 2-hour show, before they leave the performance space, we're out in the front shaking their hand as they walk out.
We think them
for coming to our show. They don't wait for us. we wait for them.
Yeah.
And they're like, God, y'all here already? I'm like, yes, because we're thanking you for coming to our show, because we appreciate anything.
Wow.
One person can come to our show, and we're it's like we've done it. Yeah.
We've done shows where we had 12 people in the audience
From a
and
snowstorm.
yeah,
Remember
and
the one in the snowstorm?
we'll break our necks to impress 12 people.
Wow.
We want them to go to leave and be like, and they did that for us.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They did all that for us.
Mm.
That's the goal for us. So we just put on the best show we can, and
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. No, again, it makes sense when you were saying before about it's not about the thousands of people in the stage. It's that small room when you have a couple people. If you can really touch those people, having them leave. Wow.
Yeah. It's like a great actor. Like watching the Joker.
Mm.
Just like watching that movie and just different scenes of what a great actor does is like magical. And it's the same way we look at when we rehearse, whether we're rehearsing together or just really on our own. It's the music that hits us. We just become honest with what we're doing. And I think a lot of times people don't see popping, like they don't see popping. I remember someone saying to me, and they was like, "So your show?" They was trying to get them to come to the show. So yeah, come to our show. They was like, "So what are you gonna do?" Like, what do you mean? What we're gonna do? We're gonna dance. What are you talking about? What we're gonna do? You've known this for 30 years. What do you mean? What we're gonna do? But you're gonna like pop? Yeah, pop, like pop hard too. We're not just gonna pop. We're gonna hit. Yeah, but for 2 hours? I'm like, yep, for 2 hours, 2 straight hours, we're gonna pop and we're gonna animate. So you think people are gonna want to see, like, that's a long time to be. I said, have you ever went to the Boston Ballet for that long? Yeah, but it's the Boston Ballet. There you go. Right there, you just made us competitive. Come to the show. And those are the type of things that make us go, like, that's what makes us serious about our show and what we do. We want the people that's able to go to see the Boston Ballet or go see Ailey or see these other companies, these incredible companies, by the way, for them to be able to see people pop, animate, lock, whatever, in street dance style and say, I got the same thing or even more from that than I did from that.
Mm.
We want to make sure that they know that our type of show and our dance style, the street dance styles that we do, us competes with the same thing that people go to school for. Like they competes with that, and especially when it's real. When it's songs that they do in the ballet, you watch a person that does animation do the same song as a ballerina do, and see how different it looks and how different it makes you feel.
If they're really into the animation, it's a completely different look.
Yeah, it's a different look. So that's our goal all the time. And we kept it up for 40, this is our 44th year.
44th year, okay. Wow.
44.
Wow. The time goes. Wow. A comment from someone here is Lady Riot. She was wondering. She says I'm in Boston Hyde Park. Where are y'all up to now? Do you teach or currently perform somewhere?
We're in South Boston for Lady. I can't see it because my eyes are getting messed up. But we're in South Boston, Midway Studios. We teach. My brother teaches at the Josiah Quincy High School. But we don't know. We're looking for a space so we can open up our own studio. Even though we have a studio space here, but it's not like we want a studio outside of our building.
Okay.
For her, we perform. We don't perform as much in Boston as we want to. But we've done the big places in Boston, like the ICA and places like that. But we're still looking. We're looking to bring our show for her to the Strand Theater, and maybe the Hibernian Hall. She knows where that's at. So we're staying busy.
Okay. Dope. Okay. And I wanted to ask about the discipline that you guys have to put on a 2 hour show and even just your technique and level of where you are. Is there any advice you would give to someone to have that discipline or to have that, how do I say, just what is your work ethic? Like, what is the discipline that you have? Or is there like a certain mindset when you're going into practice or you're going into rehearsing or?
We don't like when we have we practice for our show when we have a show.
Okay.
Like we don't like every day is not a practice for our show. Not practice for our show doesn't mean that we're dancing.
That makes any sense.
It could be us looking at a documentary of how someone puts together a show. Like we watch a lot of fashion documentaries of how people piece together a show.
Okay.
We do it. Like we said, like look at how they put together the show, how they build up this show. And you see all these different people come in. We watch that as a like a study. Like we study it. We watch how people create food.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, they're adding this, they're adding that, they're adding that. That's what we got to do. We got to be able to add that. So we actually, a lot of our studying, I mean, our practices come from us studying other people and how they put together the show.
It's hard to practice our show though. Like
Really difficult.
Like, we do bad sound checks. Like we can't practice it until we can't do it the way we want to. We need somebody there.
We can't each other.
We can't.
No, it's like
we can run through. We just say we'll run through the show, but we can't practice it full out the same way. We could never do that.
We need someone there, and I think if mirrors, it would make us practice the way it doesn't benefit how we perform when people see us. Because even when we do our routines, I mean, there's some routines, we put up some routines like Robot Kitchen and all these other things, but we're trying to. It looks identical how we're moving, but in the show, it's not identical. They think it's identical when we're moving, but in the show, it's not identical. We're actually saying, you do the best you can, and you do the best you can, and let's see what happens. So we're almost competing. We're almost competing in our show against each other.
Interesting. Okay.
We wear glasses a lot in our show because we don't want I don't want to look at him. So I don't want to look at him. So we put the glasses on. So it makes it harder. Even if I look at him, I can't see him.
Right.
Really. And his light's hitting us. So we don't want that. I know it sounds weird, but we're dressed alike. So everything's the same. But we don't care about looking alike when we dance, even though they think we look alike.
Yeah. We don't think it looks alike.
He does that I never do, and things that I do that he doesn't never do. And to be honest, he can't do. Like he just can't do it. It's something I was born with. That my mother gave it to me. He just can't do
it. Okay. Wow. Another question from Wise Up is, and you mentioned a little earlier on the other styles of dance that you're familiar with and you have an interest in. But his question is, aside from the styles that you do, what are the other styles that you are fond of? That was his question.
I'm trying to think of what styles that we're not. Samba, salsa, ballet, modern. We do a lot of mime.
Yeah, we do a lot of. We study mime with someone that was Marceau's first student.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dear friends that we've known for 20 years. So we love mime. We love, salsa. We love that flavor into our dance. You have to remember, we don't take classes. Like we don't really teach street dance styles. We don't take classes or anything that we learn how to do. We learn through visual and watching, but really diving into the culture. We do some modern dancing, but we don't take modern dance. We're around it. We're around it.
We're around it enough that we can do
A modern routine.
Yeah, routine. Because we've been around it for so long.
We don't take tap,
But
but we have sneaker rhythm. If that makes sense. We get around it so much that it's almost impossible for us not to pick it up. It's just impossible for us not to. So we love all styles. We love so many styles of dance.
Wow.
Love flamenco.
Wow. Okay.
And we've been to a few flamenco shows, and I'm just like, damn, I got to get that.
The ballroom show we went to.
Yeah, we go to ballroom shows.
Wow.
Yeah, so we love that stuff.
It's beautiful to hear just the openness that you guys have. Like, you absorb everything. You absorb all forms of creation. Everything. Like cooking, you were saying, to theaters, to acting, to jokes, like everything you absorb.
I feel like everything's and you know, with dance, especially with, you know, street dance style, everything is about the ands. It's the ands. It's not the one and twos. The ands. It's the one and. How important is the and in your dance? Like, and that's why I said the in between, the lead up, is what I mean by the ends. All those different ends. It's like a jazz. It's like jazz. We did a show with the great Barry Harris, and he always talked about the ends. And he's a jazz. And he always talked about the ends. You got to get the ends. Once you get the ends, you know how to touch people. You know how to feel the music. So we're really like into in between of the move. The wave. What's in between the wave before it gets to the other end? We're into that part of the wave.
Right.
Not wave.
Right.
In between. I think that's the thing that gets people, especially people that don't know how to do what you're doing. Like what you're doing and how you do it. I couldn't do what you're doing. I don't even know if I have the patience to do but that's what makes it dope. Like, it's dope that you got to have patience to do what you're doing. You got to have patience. If you don't have patience, you're not going to be able to do it. And I feel like people that have a certain style of dance that people love the way they do it, they got to have the patience to be able to do it and to really get into the art of it and not just look at it as like, this is a move. It's not that. It's how you go into it. That's the part. That's the part that makes the dance. That's the part that, for us, that makes animation. How do you set up the move? What's going before you go into the move? It has to be a movement and not a move.
The movement, like you said, the movement. It's not a move.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole process, everything that's happening.
Yeah.
I like to ask a little bit, because I know I've seen clips of you guys when you of bodybuilding, correct? You guys also are bodybuilding, or would you consider yourself fitness or into bodybuilding?
Bodybuilding, yeah, we did bodybuilding competitions for I think 10 years.
We might do another one this summer.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do another one in 2025.
Okay.
So actual bodybuilding, that totally helps with dance.
I was about to ask, what do you find for people that are listening? What do you find the relationship is between your fitness and your movement, your dance?
It's definitely muscle control. It's definitely being able to control tighten contrast in your muscles and certain muscle groups. That isolation of doing helps bodybuilding helps tremendously, and also it helps with stamina in dance. Bobby's about to show.
Oh, let's see. We gotta see it. Damn. How long ago is this? How old are you guys here?
Yeah, this is like a decade. Yeah, it's like a decade or so. A little bit longer than.
No, a little bit less than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
But competition, we weighed like 160 in that. It's the look of it. Like I said, what it looks like is not what it is.
Interesting.
We 160 on that, and that's not heavy for someone 6 feet. One.
Yeah, that's a wow,
Yeah.
160 and 6 foot tall.
But if you take away the ends, all you're gonna see is the muscle. So the ends is the fat. You take away the ends, so that shoulder, you take away the ends, and that shoulder pops out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting how it all comes back. It ties back
Yeah.
to the ends.
They tie
Everything comes
back.
back to the ends.
Yeah, like Billy's jump cheeks. That's the ends. When he lose that, he looks like me.
Yeah,
That's why. Okay, okay. That makes sense now. Wow. What, man, man, I don't even know from where to go from here, but I would like to ask about a memory. Is there maybe a particular memory that stands out from your journey, Bobby and Billy, that you may have separately had, that, I don't know, something that maybe had moved you or was a moment in your life, a pivotal influence, inspiration? It could be with dance. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but in your journey, is there something, a memory that stands out?
Um, I'll answer.
Let me take a
I'll answer
minute.
one for myself. We have a lot.
It's a life full of experience. I love it.
So one is recent because we don't
Hmm.
watch, like I said, we don't watch our show. Our mother never get it. She don't get a chance to see our show as much as she used to when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's about her seeing like the flyers. She takes the flyers we have and she puts it
Yeah,
in her
her
room.
room is
Her room is
just
a bunch of
set.
That's beautiful.
pictures and flyers. So
Wow.
the last time she was here, she finally watched our show. She
Okay.
watched
Whole
all
show.
our shows. Like we have two shows. We have a show called Black about police brutality,
Mm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
still a street dance style show with a little bit of modern in it, but it's a heavy subject.
Mm.
It's a real subject. Um, so she saw that for the first time, and she was extremely emotional,
Mm.
more angry about police brutality. And then she saw our other show, which is the polar opposite to Hip Hop with Love.
Mm.
And this is the first time she's watched our full show.
Wow.
And because I think
Oh.
with hip hop and our stuff, what we do with street dancers, it can't touch people in an emotional way. And we always tell people, come to the show. If you're not emotional at the end of the show, you just not you might not be human.
Mm.
And
Wow. Okay.
they ball at the end of our show. It's hard to explain our show though,
Right.
but there's a lot of crying at the end of our show because it's a whole journey of us from 10 years old up until now, and it's all the music that we listen to, so it's all together, and it's real. It's really emotional.
Wow.
I mean, it's emotional for us.
Yeah. And we try to do with the show and what makes it memorable is we want to, if we're dancing here, by the end of the show, we want them to feel like they're dancing.
Mm.
To feel like, so whatever we put on stage as far as the music and everything else, it has to be something that touches them, even if they're not dancers or they're not performing. And that's how you get, for us, that's how you get the emotional response. So you have to put something that they can relate to. It doesn't, they're already watching you dance. Now, what can they relate to that they can relate to that doesn't have anything to do with dance? So it has to be words and emotion. So we make sure that we put that in the show. And I think when our mom saw it, that's what it did. And she saw us on stage, and it probably brought back a memory of her seeing us for the first time when we were little.
We was
10. We was 7.
I'm talking
That's
on the big stage.
Okay, the big stage. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Bobby, where's that little chair? Oh, God. I got to show you this chair that we have in here. We used to dance, and then we used to sit in this little baby chair. You got to remember how, you got to see how little this chair.
Okay.
This is our chair.
This is our dance chair.
This is our little dance chair. After we start dancing, and we're sitting in this chair. And that's the only memory I have of when we were little. Before we started our little talent shows for our family. We used to do talent shows for our family when we were like 8.
So this is
So
our chair. It looks way big on that.
No, it's tiny. You have to remember Bobby's giant butt.
wow, okay. This was the chair when you were 7 that
Yeah.
you would.
This is our
Yeah, we
chair that we used
shared
to
that.
fight in. We're not
This
getting
is
rid
how
of
we
it.
started our performance.
Yeah, we used to sit in that chair.
This-
So we added a chair to our performance. The same way we used to fight over that chair, we added a chair for that reason in our performance. So it's not like we just put a chair out there.
No.
We
Mm-hmm.
added it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Mm-hmm.
has to make sense. So
Right.
those memories become memorable. It's not. I mean, the Apollo was incredible.
Mm.
Coming out of the hotel and seeing your name on the marquee at the Apollo.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, I saw that and I just was like, no, there's no way.
Did you call me?
I called Bobby
out
out the hotel room. I said, you got there's no freaking way. Our name is on the marquee. Because all we could picture is everybody else's name. See, it wasn't even about, it was about us, but I was just picturing everyone else's name before.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Our name, the Jacksons, all these other people's name on that. And then seeing that coming out the hotel room just to go get some food at the corner and seeing that and going,
Like a dream, like a whoa.
yeah, it's a
Like
huge whoa. Huge whoa.
wow. And then Bobby, if there was a memory that maybe through your journey, something that stands out for you.
I think, damn, we got a lot. I think the most touching one was we did a show for kids with AIDS
Wow. Okay.
that nobody else wanted to do. Kids have AIDS. Nobody wanted to go to the show. This was I think it was 91, maybe 92.
It was like it was in the night.
Yeah, and everybody and people were turning it down. We was like, "Are you insane? You're not gonna do the show because it's like 300 kids. Nobody wanted to get by the kids with HIV and AIDS.
Right.
I said, we're doing this show.
Yeah.
And not only are we gonna do a show, we're gonna stay there the whole day.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We stayed there the whole day.
Wow.
Cause we couldn't even believe. It was like, that's not how you get HIV. First of all, you don't get people talking and hugging a kid.
Right.
So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we did. What was we did in Mexico.
We did a tour in Mexico.
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that was in 2000. I think 17. I think.
Yeah.
And that was great. They brought us and talked to kids and meet the community. That was just, like, beautiful. So some of those shows were really, really, really good. But when it's not just about us on stage, it's about what we're doing besides the stage. That's what makes it great for us. The stage part, I don't mean to say it in an arrogant way. That's the easiest part. If they want to see you, but it's after. What after that? Like, what are you gonna do for them to remember you?
Right.
Dance.
Right.
Whether that's the class, that's where you really get to meet people and learn. You got to do something after that or before that for them to really hold you close to them. You're not
Right.
there.
This goes again. I feel like the theme continues of it's not just that point, but it's everything that's happening before and after.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense every time when I'm hearing a story. It's all connecting. It all connects.
We've done shows where the producer of the whole show would be mad at us because we didn't want to take the limo. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not mad like, oh, yeah, I wish you all would take it. I mean, heated, like
Angry.
Take the limo. You got to take the limo because all these people are here. Take the limo. You get out in front. We're like, no, I'm not taking the limo. 5 minutes away. We'll walk there. We can walk there. We're not playing. I'm talking about dance shows.
Wow.
In
Okay.
Italy.
Dance shows
Dance
are
shows
crazy to
was
me.
insane. I'm talking about with the top dance groups in Italy.
In Italy. Wow.
A night. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm just saying. It was a nightmare. Not really the show, but the arrogance. We're so much not those people that we couldn't understand the arrogance of these dancers. We was just like, wow, you all are really not in it for the crowd. I mean, y'all don't care about the crowd at all. You're
Mm.
dancing for yourselves.
Mm.
Like, how are they doing this performance for themselves? The crowd is not getting anything from them. They're just dancing for themselves. I was like, we got to
Mm.
ourselves from that. So we got some nightmare stories. We have
Wow.
stories. I'm just like, I'm glad we've danced enough and done enough that this whatever celebrity or stardom don't affect us that much. And
Right.
make a compliment and not make it go right to our head.
Wow. Right. Right. No, and I mean, I'm blessed, man, to even hear you guys like how you've always stood humble, even through all the success and accomplishments and inspire people you've inspired. But what's the word? Like, y- you're solid in your mind. Like you're solid enough in yourself, and you stand in your beliefs. And I'm just respect. I just have a lot of respect for that. I just want to share because I know it's not a lot of people get into similar experiences, but they fall off or their ego gets involved, or like you said, dancing for yourself, like they're not even not for them. So just a lot of respect. I want to share. Just letting you know.
Yeah,
So
always. If you can have people around you that you look up to, I think it changes how you look at yourself. Like, or just that you watch that you like. If you study, like I said, we study, but we study things that like it's not we admire people for being great. That has nothing to do. Like we just admire them why they're great. Like
mm,
that's why she's great. That's why he's great. That's why they're great. We look for that a lot. You know what I
mm,
mean? You
mhm.
don't get it, like I tell my students just not nothing to do with dance, and I always tell them because I do discipline in
Oh,
school kids and high school kids. That's what I do.
you discipline. Can you what discipline has like?
Like their emotional responses to the classroom.
Mm,
So not really their academic, it's really their character. I'm
mhm.
almost like a teen life coach in a way.
Okay.
So I deal with, I do suspensions and all those different things and redirection. And I always tell them that, especially the ones who get into trouble, I said the reason why you get into trouble, you you don't you're not you don't rock with anyone that's better than you. You
Mm.
got to be around people that you kind of look up to and that you can learn from. That's the only way that you grow. You can't just grow completely on your own. Like you can, but it's not. I won't recommend it. I always recommend that you're around people that you can learn from. It changes your circle, and then you're always a learner.
Mm.
You're a learner. Where our next door neighbor just moved in. We live in an artist building, so it's nothing but artists here. 89
Okay. Wow.
studios of nothing but artists. You
Nice.
can't get. Um,
Just surrounded. Hmm.
neighbor just moved in, and he was a stage director. He built the props for like the Metropolitan Opera.
Okay. Wow.
And so I didn't so we had an art display downstairs, and I'm looking at these like stages like this big, but they got the little men in them, and it's so ridiculous. I'm like, who did this?
Like, how did they do
Yeah, I'm
that?
like,
Like,
how did
how?
this person do this? So he's like 80s, 85, 80 something years old, and he's right next door.
Okay.
And I just met him, and I was talking to him, and I was like, man, I'm gonna talk your ear off. Like I'm gonna be over there like this. What made you do that? Like, why did you do it that way? Like, why did you do it? I think that's a missing piece, and I think it's a missing piece in dance. I think you can admire someone's dancing, and it doesn't help you as much as admiring why they dance.
You can admire someone's dance, but it doesn't help as much as admiring why they
Yeah,
dance.
I don't know if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Mike, it makes sense. Like
Mm.
great dancer, but like, and then you talk to them, and you're just like, damn,
It makes sense.
wait, you're on a whole different level. Yeah, you're an incredible dancer. Yeah, but damn, that's
Yes.
that's why you're dancing. That's the stuff. That's the stuff I love.
Yes.
That's the stuff, like I'm like, dag, man, I can just listen to this person talk,
Mm.
like watch them. Like if you listen to James Baldwin, and it's like
Mm. Right.
you listen to Nina Simone talk about. You just listen to these great people. You just like, that's what I was looking for. I can add whatever that person is talking about. I can add it to my dance
Mm.
performance. I want the audience to experience the same thing I experience when I watch that person.
Mm.
We want. I'm like, whatever we get from watching that person, how do we get that from the audience to when they watch us?
Right. Right.
Okay?
And to know to see beyond the dance. So what are they about? Their life, the way they think, the way they see the
Yeah.
world. Mm. Mm. Wow. Speaking of dance and of just how do I say? What are your thoughts on where dance is going? Do you have any thoughts particular on where dance is going or opinions about? Well, we'll say street dance because I feel most of the people here that watch my videos are from the street dance community.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on street dance, where it's going, or anything at all?
I love I love the creativity of what's going on now with like the video going, like I'm seeing more dancers than ever. The only thing I think is missing, I think, hmm, I don't think people are getting to know dancers like they used to. Like you would know, like you get the chance to really know dancers. I think because it's so short and so quick that
Mm-hmm.
you really know them as people. And I think the people part of dance is important just as much as the dance. And I don't, I just want to make sure that street dancers are seen the way other dance are seen. And like they don't mind watching a ballet dancer dance for 10 minutes, then you shouldn't mind watching a street dancer
Right, right,
10 minutes. Like
right.
even when they make videos, yeah, they make their personal videos like modern and ballet dancers. They always talk about their lives and stuff like that. Then they'll show them dance. The street dancers should do the exact same thing. Yep. They should know what their lives, struggles, negative, positive, whatever. Then show what they do. Not just I'm just gonna dance and I'm just gonna leave. Show what you do and what you're made of and why you're dancing. And you can do that in a 5-minute video. It don't have to be the whole video don't have to be you dancing. You can talk in your video, do what others do. That's why what they're doing. You're on the same level as them. And in fact, to me, street dance is much harder, but that's a whole nother story. But you gotta be on the same level as the ballet, modern, all those dances. To get that, and like the way what's the guy name that does the ballet show? I always forget his name. Little Buck.
Okay.
Yeah. Little Buck. Little Buck be killing the ballet shows. Hey, but you see, I can tell that Little Bucks has studied ballet for a long time. Before he does all his moves, all the waving and stuff, he looks like a ballet dancer before the moves. I'm like, this dude, he's not just doing a ballet show. He's in it. I mean, he's part of it. He has everything here. He has the presence of a ballet dancer, even though he's doing his own style. I think you gotta be able to present more than just your dance. You gotta present your personality and what you've studied and watched your whole life before you dance. And sometimes it's not movement. Sometimes it's just you talking about it.
Right. When you were saying about modern dancers or ballet dancers speaking before they dance, are you saying like for a performance or videos that you see this?
Oh,
Both.
video.
There's a thing because I'm not familiar
Yeah,
with that. I'm not.
a lot of modern dancers talk about their story behind why they took dance. That's what it means. Just
Yeah.
kind of the same way we're doing, but talk
Okay.
why you do this and what got you into it. I think with street dance, they just sometimes only want to see the street dancer dance.
Just go and then
I don't
that's it.
hear you talk, like dance, but they want to hear other people talk. It's like,
Ah.
how you dance? Like what made you become not street dancer, a street style
Right.
dancer?
Right. Street style dancer. Correct.
I think it's super important not to like hide away from that. Like when they do workshops, a lot of people don't know this. Even the ones that do tours of they go teach popping and whatever. After you teach your class, that 5 minutes after when you tell them to sit down, they remember that almost more.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
they remember that. Like the students love that stuff. We should never run away from have given them a conversation about why you're here having me teach you and why I'm here teaching you. Like that part that's really, really important to do.
Mm.
Whether it's someone putting it on their page, a dancer putting it on their page, that stuff is important. I always look for that with dancers. I'm like, okay, let me see who this person is. Okay, they're dope. Yeah, they can dance. Okay, let me look for the video. And I don't see a video of them talking. I'm like, why aren't they talking? Why aren't they saying anything? I know, but I want to hear. I want to hear how you got to this point of being dope. Why, like,
It's like the deeper layer of they're human.
yeah,
Like they're a human. What is this? Tell me who this are. Who is this?
yeah. It's like
What are you? Who are you?
study someone
Mm.
when they talk about. And I used to, when I was younger, we used to watch this. We always just used to laugh at it until we got older and we started really. I'm like, dog, we became the people that we used to laugh at all the time.
Yeah.
When they do, like when actors talk about the character, but they talk about the character in the third person.
Okay. The
And
actors will talk about the character in
yeah,
third person. Okay.
like when they talk about the character they're playing and why they're playing this character and what the character is,
Right.
what the character, and I'm like, does he know that he's talking about himself? But
Yeah. We used to be like that.
we
Like,
used to
what are you
laugh at
talking
that.
about?
And I'm like, oh my God, that's what we do. Like we do
Mm.
the same exact thing that we watched and we thought was so interesting and funny. I'm like, and it's funny because now I know what they were talking about, but
Mm.
I didn't know it before.
Right. Right.
Now I know what they're talking about when they say getting into the character of something and being able to express it for someone to understand it.
Right.
Now I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Just wow. I would like to ask I have just two more questions I have. The first question is for people that are watching here, people that will watch this afterwards when I post it. Is there something how would you like them? Would you like them to stay in touch with you? Would you like people to know that you are in Baltimore, you perform? What would you like people to
Boston.
know about yourselves?
Boston.
Boston, Boston, Boston.
Um, well, one of the things that we want to do more judging and more judge demos. We want to do
Okay.
more traveling with judging competitions and doing judge demos. I think judge demos is a lost art,
Mm,
um,
mm,
and it's judge demos are needed.
mm.
Needed. That's something that we want to really do more. We've seen some great judge demos. I just like to see judge demos at street dance competitions. It's just dope when you see a poppin' battle and then you see the judge demo. And you see the difference between someone taking that judge demo serious and one that's just doing it because I don't know.
Mm,
To be the I don't know.
mhm.
I want you know what I don't want to have I'm never gonna be the I don't know.
Right. Intention. There's an intention for everything. Why are you there? Why is someone there?
You can be I don't know to a person that's in the audience needs to see you in that light to inspire them. You can't, and I always say you can never take that for granted. Like you can't. You got to be like, you know what? Someone's gonna look at what I'm doing, and they're gonna be like, I want to do it because of them. So I have to make sure that I'm on point. You know what I mean? So we want to do more traveling and more judge demos, and just continue doing our show. We did Broadway, all Broadway last year for the first time, and it was amazing.
Okay.
It was a sold out.
Crazy.
Wow.
And it was something that we always wanted to do, but and that was done I think we did it on a Saturday. By the time Monday came, we was looking for something else to do.
Mm.
And the year before that, we went to see, who did we see? We see Savion Glover and Ben Vereen at the same place. And we was front row watching them. Savion Glover looks way better in person than video.
Okay.
Those legs and feet
Please.
were insane. I was just like, oh my God. You know how incredible he was? He had a little screen here, and we're watching here, like we're watching you. And he's right here. And we'll look at the screen and we'll go, that don't look the same as that.
Wow.
It looks way different.
So live theater is
you
like,
you
got to go to see people live.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we bring people to see us live, and not just clips and little bits.
We're trying to do more videos.
Yeah.
We try to, but we're just like, they got to see us live because this is it's not the same.
When would be the next performance? Is there I know this year's coming to an end soon, but when would be the next? Is there a performance coming up or something people could maybe kind of plan ahead to see you guys?
What we want to do is make sure that people just stay tuned on our Instagram page.
Okay.
Those come up a month before that we haven't even planned. Like right now, we're planning 2025.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning some food shows and different things like that. We're also planning some art shows where we combine the art and the dance together. So there's a lot of things that's not confirmed, but it's in the planning that we're working on now.
Because the theater shows are planned, they plan that
a year in advance.
A year in advance. Wow. Okay.
Call you next week and say, can you do a show here? No, they plan.
We have shows planned for 2026 now.
Wow. Okay. Got it.
That's the way it is in the theater world. That's why we want to make sure that we do more, street dance battles type of shows with judge demos, because those can be a little bit. You can do those more than.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Well, I'll be on the lookout for when you guys have a performance or anything like that, and for everyone else too, just follow the Wonder Twins on Instagram. Because would you say that's the best way to keep in touch of what you guys are up to? Okay.
Yep. That's the best way.
Okay. So
we want to get to Cool Boys, to Midar's Poppin' Picnic.
Have you been to the picnic? No? Okay. I feel like y'all would, yeah.
I just would love being around, around that energy. I would love that. So we need to make sure that we get there this summer and experience that. Yes,
that would be really cool. And I know a lot of people out here would love to just seeing you guys perform and getting to know you guys. As we're talking right now, I know a lot of people would appreciate that time. And a lot of people here too were saying, like the Twins, and there was some friends of mine, poppers and stuff like that, like, oh yeah, the Twins, so I know you would be definitely welcomed, I feel, out here.
Yeah, I would love
it. We don't meet anybody.
Yeah.
You only know people through the net.
Yes.
Some people that we talk to only know them through,
Right, social media, like us, we never met before, but just through videos and, the last question I'd like to ask you guys is, for everyone watching, if you had the world listening to you right now, if you had the attention of everyone, what would you want to tell people that are listening? And separately, Bobby and Billy, what would you both separately would want to tell the world, people that are listening to you? And it could be dance. It doesn't have to be dance, but what would be something you would want to just let people
I got
know?
I have two things.
Uh-oh.
um, you have to treat you have to treat life like it's like this is your second chance.
Hmm.
Like this is like you whatever happened to your first life wasn't it. This is this is your other chance to get whatever you didn't do right for your whether doesn't matter what it is. This is the life where you get. That's what I tell my students that. I just started saying it. I don't know what made me say it. But this is your second life.
Hmm.
Like, this might be your second life. I told the kid that, and he was just like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Listen, I smack you in the head. This might be it. Like
Right.
you messed up. This might be it. Don't blow it again. You already messed up. He gave you another chance. This is it. Get it right."
Wow.
And
Wow.
I would just say be kind and have empathy for others. Be
Hmm.
kind and have empathy for others, especially if you just watch what's going on in the world today. Kindness is a lost art, and caring for other people is a lost art. There's videos, these videos of a video series called, I think it's called The Reflection of Life.
Hmm.
That
Yeah, they changed the name, but it's
it used to be called the
green
Renaissance, but now it's called The Reflection of Life on YouTube. And it's like it could be 200 videos of just normal people's lives and what they've gone through and how they changed their. I mean, nobody's a star. They're just normal people. If you watch those videos, it can change how you look at everybody and how you look at yourself. Reflections of life.
Reflections of life. Okay.
Incredible. It's deep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's deep. And we watch those. And we watch those a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna watch one tonight.
We're gonna definitely watch one tonight.
And for dance, to create dope popping and animation and your whatever style of dance you do, you have to look at it like um like the way a person. I wish I had the ingredient. The way you make a cake. Like it's like you add flour, you add individually all the ingredients of a cake is disgusting if you
Right.
eat it. But when you see the final piece of it, you understand why you had to add all those things to make the.
Hmm.
That's how we look at our style and what we do in dance. It's all these different things that we had to get right, make this piece, and hope that the person that's eating it tastes good for them. So it's like a chef. All these ingredients make this dish just to watch this person taste it and see how they appreciate it. So it still goes back to them. It's
Right.
still not us. The purpose is about them. It can't be just about us. It would really make no sense for it to be just about us because we don't have to bring it outside just about us.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
bring it outside to be for other people to absorb and the growth. So, and for you poppers, nothing's better than animation.
Nothing's better than
Not
animation.
Nothing
Yeah.
animation. Nothing.
nothing.
In our opinion,
No, I'm agree. I'm gonna add on to that.
Nothing.
is better than animation, in our opinion. In street dance,
Nothing.
Wow.
That's with it. You can add animation to every style of dance, and it completely changes the dance. You can't
And
add
animation doesn't look the same to me. Nobody animation really looks the same. When I watch people animate, they never look the same. Poppers look the same a lot.
Yeah, a lot of poppers look the same.
I can tell who a popper love, their favorite popper is, just by watching them pop.
And it doesn't mean that they're not dope.
Yeah, they could be dope.
Dope
I'm
as
like,
anything.
oh,
Like,
okay,
yeah, but you can see that they
with
animation, you get into yourself, it's a whole different experience. Because some people don't even have to understand it.
Yeah,
They can be like, damn, I don't understand it, but that don't
What?
that don't
Right.
look
that
real.
real. Like, what did he do? He's like, he just stood there. Right.
He lifted up his arm and it did something, but
Right.
break his arm, like, no,
No,
he just
look real.
Yeah, right. Oh man. I wanna say something you guys might be interested in is every year do you know Yaya
Yep.
from Yaya? She hosts an animation. Animation has been. Have you seen the Unimate?
Animation battles?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it.
Love it.
So
Nobody.
it,
I think
it's
it's
the best thing in the world. Everybody.
so
Everybody.
so
I like that person. Who's that? I like that person. Oh, I like that person. Everybody was dope. Because nobody looked the same to me. Nobody looked the same.
interesting.
But I don't look, when I animate or dance, I look nothing like my brother. We're twins. Like,
Right.
if I saw that, I'm like, God, I don't want to look like I look like you on that. I would literally get upset because we don't study the same thing. Mine's more puppet style. Billy's is more robotic.
Mm.
Completely different thing.
Mm.
I gone to puppet shows as a grown man with kids behind me, staring at the marionettes like this.
Wow. Okay. I didn't.
It's that deep. Is that crazy?
Okay.
I'm at the show, so when I see somebody doing like puppet styles and stuff, I'm like, that ain't it. You ain't. Not how it goes. The person that controls the puppet don't want you to look sloppy. That's not how the movement is. He's trying to make you look real. He's not trying to make you go like this.
Yes. Right. No.
That's not what he's doing. He's trying to make you look real.
Right.
So I studied all that. I mean, it's been like,
and the realness,
infatuation for like 30 years. I mean,
the realness, him trying to make you look real is what makes it animated.
yeah.
Right.
Because he
can't do it. He's like, him trying to make him look real, and then we're looking at the figure, and we're like, damn.
And this fool, if Billy have seen, let me tell you how ridiculous Billy is. Billy have seen, we've walked and we will see a baby in a carriage, and this fool will be like, you see how animated that baby is?
I'm gonna go out to the mom and be like, what are you teaching that baby?
Like that. What are you looking at? Like, that baby is so animated. I can't deal with it. I'm like, the baby's animated?
I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that because that's also something I always wonder with dance. Like, what are the little particular things that each dancer is looking at or studying, or that the little things that like people don't share about. Like you're looking at a baby stroller or you're looking at a puppet show. Like these are the things that really it's very personal, and you're so interested in it. Nobody told you, oh, look at puppet, or like, oh, look at the baby. No one said that. Like
they would say you're crazy. They would say you're crazy.
Yeah,
but it's a genius though. It's a thing. It's like
it's so much stuff that's animated. It's just it's insane that people don't notice it. I'm just talking about regular people walking.
Right.
Like, wow, that looks animated.
You can catch someone doing something. You're just like, that was crazy. Like, and they're not even doing it on purpose. It's just them doing something. Or then you'll look at the scene and be like, how would that scene look if it's done in a dance that's animated? How would that scene look? That scene will look completely different. Us talking in an animated interview would look completely different than us. You know what I mean? Like, we always think about that. How would that look animated? When we go to
Regular
the
situation.
ballet, we see the ballet. I'm like, how would that look? How would a Nutcracker look if it's animated? So yeah, it's always learning something different, a different approach, and something. Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Well, again, I hope you guys can come out when she has it again, the Unimate event. She has it every year, and I think that would be really cool for y'all to come out, or even like I know you're talking about judge showcasing like that. I feel like that would be perfect. I'm a just voucher for you guys and just tell y'all like, hey, you guys make something
Yeah.
happen because I
That's
just feel
dope.
like that would really align. Like just I don't know, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
That'd be really.
But Billy and Bobby, man, I want to thank you again for taking time to like have this conversation and to share just authentically who you are and just the knowledge is there, but also just the realness. Like that is what really has me thinking and really pondering, especially we talking about the ands and the humbleness and how to just being open to everything. Like what you're sharing is not just for dancers, it's for anyone listening. And I truly appreciate you taking time to do that. I just want to thank you guys for real.
Welcome. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll run into each other in person and we can see each other.
It'll happen.
Yes, in time.
No.
But thank you guys again.
Everything I know.
Exactly. But anyway, have a calm night, guys, and thank you again for sharing.
Peace.
Take care.